Bang, we're live. Hi, welcome to OUYA Presents. Today is Monday. It is August the 25th.
This is not OUYA Presents, by the way.
This is OUYA Presents. Developer Office Hours.
Oh my goodness.
With your host, Alex Doherty, and I'm along for the ride. It's August 25th to the 25th of August. Joining us live via satellite from a bunker somewhere in the Culver City area. It's that guy, Mr. Jared Yeager.
Hello, everyone.
Kelly Santiago is somewhere nearby Mr. Jared Yeager.
Hello.
And then from somewhere in the Seattle region, it's Mr. Tim Grauman.
Hey guys, hey people.
Tim, you were at Unite, right?
Yeah.
Could you
Was
tell
at
me
Unite.
what Unite is and then what it was like?
All right, Unite had like 1,500 people there. They
It's a Unity.
it's a Unity extravaganza thing. So they had the McCall Hall. There was like 3 floors there. They had a buffet thing.
Tell us about the buffet.
The buffet had like buffet tables on every corner, and with like people in chef uniforms telling you like where to go. And they had like wood plates and
Were there
catered food.
Were there popped collar keynotes?
Did they have
Yeah, so it starts with the keynote.
With the popped collar?
Yeah, it's recorded. You can check that out. All the things will be posted eventually.
Oh.
And then yes, they had a lot of talks, so you could watch the stuff on different tools like Uframe and SpeedTree. So you'll never guess what SpeedTree does.
I know what it does.
It makes trees.
Yep. That's what it does.
They had the Mixamo boost. They had like a whole bunch of exhibits and stuff. The Houdini engine. They had TextMesh Pro guys. The Leap was there. I tried out the Oculus Rift headset thing. They had like quite a few exhibits using that. And then at the very end, they had an award ceremony. After the award ceremony, like everybody went to EMP for a big party. And they had the whole EMP museum, the Experience Music Project Museum. There, it was rented out, so they had drinks and food and Reuben sandwiches and.
Did you tell the Mixamo people that you've been showing off their stuff a lot?
Oh yeah, they know me. I'm their #1 fan. They know me.
Cool.
So yeah, talked with those people. There was a lot of different VR headsets. Yeah, and 1,500 people going to talks and talking about stuff, and
Nice.
people showing their games and all kinds of stuff.
And you're still going to be in tour mode because you're getting ready to go with us to PAX A.
Yep. So that'll be 6 floors of fun stuff.
Yeah.
So, twice as much fun.
We should jump back to how we started the show with a
The
report
second time.
from our developer submission frontlines, the segment that we like to call Derp with Doherty.
Wow, my mind. I really am not. I was not prepared.
Oh, wow. We always do this.
We do, but I was thinking about PAX this week.
Yeah. You can be a PAX-related derp. To add a challenge.
I guess it's not really a derp. It's more just potentially
You always say
common
that.
sense, maybe. Yeah, but definitely optimize your games in terms of like graphics, like your tile or whatever, art resolutions and everything for all your files and everything. Because there's some games we've seen that you would expect to be 40 or 50 megabytes, and they're like 500 megabytes. And so there's potentially a lot of files that were just all packaged together that you don't need to use in the game, or they're just very high resolution, and max you're putting out of a OUYA is 1080p. So that's just something to think about, because it makes it download faster. It makes our life easier because we don't have to wait for it. But in general, like from the store, if you upload a 500 megabyte game, someone's going to start downloading it and walk away, and you can lose a lot of attention that way, because I'll download things and I forget I downloaded it like a few days ago, and I've come back and I've downloaded a bunch of 10 megabyte games. So not necessarily saying you need it to be really small, but just pay attention to your file size, because that makes a big difference in how people view it.
Cool.
Yeah.
Tim's been fighting an optimization battle for as long as I've known him. Right, Tim?
Yep. That's all part of mobile.
It's all about flow rate, though.
Yep.
Right?
That also applies to just games running well in general. If you're not like the king of optimization, I know a few games, they were running in 1080p, and they were able to get a nice significant frame rate boost by just lowering their output to 720p. So for those of you out there that don't know how to jump into the code and kind of chop around and optimize, that's a quick win that you could potentially try.
Cool. Not really related, but Alex teased at it. We're getting ready for PAX. Boy, I mentioned
pretty
it
much
too.
I did more than tease. I just said it out loud.
Yeah, PAX is coming.
We're getting ready for a thing.
There's a thing happening.
Yeah.
And it's PAX Prime in Seattle. And I actually also teased it too, not subtly. So we'll be on the 6th floor.
We're also going to be at the second day of Dev Days.
I think, yeah, both days.
No, I think just the second day.
Oh, really? Okay, well, we'll be at PAX Dev Days. We're going to... Do you know any info on that one party? It's like anyone can go to it, right?
Yeah, there's tickets, though. I can look it up.
Money.
Party that you should all come to and hang out with us. Matt's been growing out his neck beard.
Oh.
That's true.
It's true,
I've
and
seen
it's
it
awesome.
happen.
No, it looks cool. He looks like it's actually just a really great beard. Alex's beard is pretty good.
The problem is at PAX you're going to blend in. The more neck beard, the more blending happens.
We'll get some stilts, and then we'll at least be really tall.
Absurd. Okay, well, while Alex is looking for information on that party, I'll pop over to this guy in a segment that we like to call Just the Facts with Jared Yeager.
Lots and lots of facts. Let's go down some OUYA news here.
We also got a PAX related question. Maybe we should go ahead and
Go for it.
just. Do you see it, Bob? It's when will the PAX playlist be live in Discover, and how long is it? I'm not sure if that means how long is it going to run or how many games are going to be in it, but.
You can answer all those. Ooh. Someone's mute. I would advise headphones. I think it might be you, Kelly. So we've announced who's going to PAX. That's on ouya.tv/blog. The PAX playlist will go live. That's a great question for Jared, but we're thinking when PAX starts?
Whenever you want.
That to you, Jared?
Yeah, whenever you want to do it.
You're like, we should really tell Jared about this playlist.
I should do this playlist.
And then how long is it? We got quite a few.
I think we have like 28 games we're featuring.
We would.
Are we gonna do everything?
Yeah, it's anyone
Then
who
we have
submitted.
we have like 80 games.
Yeah.
Plus, 80 plus games.
Well, and we got over 100, but then only some of them are actually live games you can play.
That's true.
So of those live games, there's about 80
Yeah.
that we put on.
Mm-hmm.
How long is it running?
I think the whole show.
The whole show.
Over the long weekend and everything.
Maybe kick out a few extra days just so people can experience.
Yeah, I figured we would have it go live tomorrow and run through next Tuesday.
Okay.
Works for me. That's a great question, Johnny. I should select it so people can see that you asked it.
And again, if you don't see all of them in the playlist, it might be because A, they're not actually ready yet, so they're only going to be at PAX.
Yeah.
And B, not all of them might be set to run on Mojo.
Mm-hmm.
So some of those games may not appear on your Mojo. That's just depending on if the developer submitted them that way or not. So yeah, otherwise they'll all go up tomorrow. We'll be good to go.
I sent you a link to the party thing.
Oh, you did?
Because it's super long.
Is it in Skype?
Yeah.
I'll put it in the show notes later.
Okay, yeah, we'll have a link to the show notes, but it's on a Friday?
What is that? Thursday.
Thursday, August 28th at 9 p.m.
Until Friday at 2 a.m.
And it is at the something place.
I love the something place.
We will have more information. Oh, you have it?
That's not it.
Oh, Capital Cider.
Capital Cider in Seattle.
In Seattle. We will be there. hang out with us. Jason Weeks says, devs of what corporations? What, Tim?
Oh, go ahead.
Oh, what were you going to say?
I was wondering what that was related to. Was it when I was talking about Unite, like what devs were there, or is it talking about something you were talking about?
If it's talking about what I was talking about, we put out an open call for games. He's ready to know. I'm an admin of Google, Dev, Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, and Skype. I don't know. I don't know what he's talking about.
They're getting more vague by the second.
He uses Node.js, .api, and .stk files. What do you mean, Jason? Could you tell us in what you're referring to? What you are referring? So if it's about the pack submission, we put out an open call a couple weeks ago for developers to submit and be included on the floor with us. If developers were already going, they can come demo with us. Otherwise, we'll demo the games for them. If they want us to hand out their swag, we can swag it up.
Yeah, we have some swag in hand,
Swaggity
which we're
swag.
about to mail to Seattle. So that's there for us.
And then games? Question mark. Yeah. So there's like 80 games. We won't list them all. But if you want to look at the games, and we'll link it in the show notes, there's a blog page on ouya.tv/blog. You can see all the games that were officially picked to be featured at PAX. Lots of cool ones. Sneak peeks of things. James is pacing around the office. Something he's very distracting. Hey, James.
Man, I wish we had a camera right
Yeah,
now.
oh gosh.
Hi, Debs.
Oh wait. Oh, I didn't have the camera.
He poked his head in.
Yeah.
You can see him.
So Jared,
So Bob,
do you have any more just the tips with Jared? Just the facts?
I have some facts for you.
Okay.
Yeah, Bob's actually embarrassed by himself.
Yeah, this is a good moment. I was going to just let this moment hang for a little bit. So some good Ouya news. We'll go into the big press stuff a bit later, I guess, after this. But as far as kind of some immediate news, had some cool releases last week, including Magnetic by Nature, which is only on Ouya right now. They will be working on a free-to-try demo down the road as well. Toto Temple Deluxe also had a nice little update with some bug fixes. Some additional content is also on the way with a new temple and some other cool, I guess, little hidden gems for you. And then, last night we just kind of snuck out Tetris Battle Fusion, which is free to try. So you can now play Tetris couch multiplayer on Ouya with some pretty cool amulets, special power abilities for changing your attacks and defense inside the game. And then we've got a few more games coming down the road soon. Towerfall Ascension will be coming soon. I know I've been getting a lot of questions about that. So that will be pretty soon. I'll be able to probably provide an update later this week on the timing for that. And then a trip over to Free the Games. I want to give a shout out to our friends at Elysian Shadows. They have broken the record for the most funded or highest funded Free the Games game with 150K, beating out Neverending Nightmares at 99K, although it is not really a contest. But again, congrats to the team there on that. They will be coming to Ouya and Dreamcast. I guess it looks like it's going to be about 2015, so they've got a lot of development left to go. Also wanted to call out the remaining games that are in the fund that could be potentially funded here. We have quite a few projects left, about at least 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18 projects left. Currently we are featuring The Sun Also Rises. That was also a staff pick by Kickstarter. By horse volume, they are at $9,000, 12 days to go, out of a goal of 15,000. I'll just run through the rest here for you. We got Major Drip, Case of the Runnies, an indie platformer, 30% funded, 18 days to go. Adventures of Sancho and Rusimus, the video game, 38% funded at $11,627, 4 days to go. So Looks like they're trying to get to a final rush with that. Captain Bra 2, A Space Travesty, 43% 16 days ago. Right from the Stars, 36% funded, 11 days to go. Caretaker at 7%, 11 days to go. Duke Grabowski, Mighty Swashbuckler, point-and-click fun, 42% funded with 42 days to go. Nice combo there. Bears Can't Drift with the latest demo that you can play on Ouya, featuring the alpha beta playlist. About 5% funded, 12 days to go. Another kart racer, Super World Karts, Indy Kart Racer, another staff pick. 48% funded, 17 days ago, so it looks like second time might be the charm for them, with cameos from everyone from Duck Game, Toto Temple, So Many Me, Whispering Willows, Read Only Memories, and more. That's looking really cool. Astro Style, top-down space shooter, 48 days ago, 0% funded. Looks like it just kind of kicked off. Tetropolis, on the topic of Tetris, a combination, as they call Tetroidvania, or it was like a Tetris, Metroid, Castlevania hybrid, 12% funded. Rose, Time Apart, you can play the current version of Rose on Ouya right now. It's at 23% funded, 15 days ago. Kalina, another staff pick by Kickstarter. It's a hands-on, hands in the kitchen visual novel and restaurant sim at 34% funded, 19 days ago. Enchanted Kingdom, 3%, 45 days ago. Kevin versus the Monkeys, 15 days ago at 4%. Stash, No Loot Left Behind, 61% and 18 days to go. Bubble Struggle Adventure, 5%, 46 days ago. And the last one that was able to get in for the deadline, Royal Heroes, just kicked off. It's at 1% funded, 39 days to go. So going down the road, I'll just call out the ones that are kind of moving towards their final here instead of going through the full list. But that is the remaining 18 games that you can participate in to help fund, which we will match dollar for dollar for the Free the Games Fund. And with that, I hand it back over to you, Bob and Alex.
Thanks, man. Let me close this door. Sorry.
I realized, Bob, I sounded more like a weatherman going through temperature.
Yeah, I just need to be like, I need to
70 degrees right now. Nice, partly sunny. 42 days ago.
Do you hablas español, Jared? Because someone's asking us to.
Un poquito.
Yeah.
Un poco?
I've been practicing with Duolingo, actually, which is amazing. It's pretty cool.
What's Duolingo?
It's iOS and Android app, and you can like pick from several different languages and practice. And that's why I used to know a lot more Spanish than I do now. But you can test it, and it like sets you at your experience level, and then like you can keep practicing.
Does it analyze your actual voice?
Yeah, it does. Like
if you're pronouncing it correctly.
Mm-hmm. You can do like phonetics, and you can also do like regular translation. It's awesome. It's pretty
What's it called?
fun.
Duolingo?
Duolingo, yeah, D-U-O, lingo.
I did forget one thing. Just wanted to give a shout out. Again, this is a great way for devs to do free marketing for their games and really kind of get into the heart of the Ouya mega fans and developers. Highly recommend any developer out there. Definitely post about your game at ouyaforum.com. Reach out to the moderators there. Writing Spectre and Killswitch, they will take very good care of you with the rest of the crew there. Great place to just kind of share where your game's at in development. And also when it launches, and they run some really great contests. Also, our friends over at OuyaCast, on the OuyaCast podcast, so Ouya Brew and Ouya Central TV, they do podcasts now every Sunday, and they love to have guest developers on. So definitely don't be shy. Reach out to them, whether it's with the game to check out, review, or with anything you want to talk about with them. They are great peeps as well.
Awesome. I'm going to delete some of Jason's stuff, but I agree. Jason's excited about the PAX playlist, so that's cool. Benjamin is asking a lot of Ouya 2 questions, very sneakily, so I'll commend him. One of them is, will the Free the Games Fund make a return when Ouya 2 hits the store shelves? Just curious here. I'm just waiting for Jared. Just putting you on the spot, Jared. Oh!
We haven't. I think we've not announced any future plans for Free the Games beyond where this is running right now. So, yeah, you'll just have to wait and find out.
Mm-hmm. And then no info on Ouya 2 yet, correct, Jared?
No, it's coming out tomorrow.
Jared.
No, there's no info right now. No.
Okay.
I just wanted to. I wanted to see if I could make Alex's head spin
We're
around.
gonna make the internet.
Yep, there's going to be a news headline now.
No. There's no information.
Definitely not.
Oh, you're funny. Then Philippe Royer of Super Pixel is asking, what was the criteria for games that could or could not be demoed at PAX? That is a good question.
Yeah, so I think feel free to chime in, guys, but we were looking for games because PAX is super busy, a lot of foot traffic, so games that were really easy to kind of understand at a glance, like as people were walking by the Ouya booth to pull them in. And then also, like, overall, we wanted just to select a variety of games of, like, different genres and play styles to show the variety of content on Ouya and how an open platform really allows for lots of new types of gameplay.
Yeah, and then also part of what it came down to was the fact that there's only so much time. We've got 4 TVs this time instead of some other shows we've had 7 or more, and so we just wanted to make sure that we weren't giving people 5 minutes of time. We were giving them a good hour or two. Throughout the weekend.
That's always tough. We had that for, E3. We even had like even more TVs, and that was still tough.
Yeah.
To like section off.
And we had a smaller amount of games at that show, and it was still tough. You're right.
Yeah. Jason Weeks is asking, Wolf Team Shia. Do you know what that means, Tim Groutman?
No, I don't. But speaking of TVs, do we have like any information about how we're going to be laid out at the booth there? Is there going to be a couch, places to sit?
Did you guys end up chevroning it? I don't remember. Is it like a centralized?
No, we're doing a what was that movie with Hugh Jackman? Swordfish. We're doing a swordfish display.
Like Tim's death.
Yeah. No. We're basically gonna. We had a drawing of it, but we're just gonna have 4 more or less equally spread out TVs
pointing outwards,
so that there's room for everyone to stand, because it's kind of an awkwardly shaped thing where it's like twice as long as it is wide.
Mm-hmm. Could we bring your couch, Tim?
I could bring my couch, sure.
Nice. Okay.
I'm not even kidding. If we
because I'd like a different couch. You guys can have this one.
There's 38 couches in Seattle. That's
Your couch
what
looks comfy.
When I was at PAX last year, no one had a couch except for Tripwire Interactive, who was demoing Killing Floor, and they had a couch, and everyone was coming and just like, can we flopping?
Cut down a tree and turn it into a couch.
Yeah, man.
Because it's the Pacific Northwest, and that's just what you do.
Mm-hmm.
I have one of those ready, so it's gonna take about 6 guys to carry it, though.
A tree.
Yeah.
Perfect.
Yeah, it's a big segment.
Nice. It's like 2 foot in diameter, roughly.
At least, yeah.
Okay, good. You don't want smaller than that.
We need to sand it down though. It's pretty pokey.
I'll bring a hand plane.
Have you prepared us anything for new and experimenting Ouya developers this week?
Yeah, I kind of targeted more stuff that people that don't have to write code can use.
Cool.
So code-free stuff. So I'll show you that when you do the drum roll thing.
Yeah, God, you're so great. You keep me sharp, Tim. That's what makes you awesome. So every week, Mr. Tim Groutman shares with us cool tips and things if you're a budding developer. When did that get drawn on my window?
I think a while ago.
When you're a budding developer, in a segment that we like to call Grok with Groutman.
Cool. Yeah, so for a while now, people have been requesting, like, how do I hook Playmaker up to the Ouya controller? So I made an example that does that. And what's Playmaker? Yeah. Playmaker, I'll share my screen again. But Playmaker is a tool you can use so that you can work with Unity but not write code. So, oh, that's weird. I had it ready, and now it's not. Awesome. All right, hang on a second.
I see it now. It looks like it's moving.
Oh, well, this is inside Unity. I wanted to show the asset store page.
Oh, okay.
When I was in the Hangout earlier, like my whole screen was like flashing. I had to like kill the Hangout and go back in. Okay, Playmaker is in the Unity asset store, and I'm getting a link now.
While Tim's doing that, Cohen just popped on. Cohen is
Hey, Cohen.
for Shadowlight. Can't hear you. I think your mic's not plugged in. Can't hear you. Okay, Playmaker's up.
Okay, so yeah, so this is Playmaker, and it's an asset in the Unity asset store, and basically it's a visual scripting type engine. So for everything in here, you can do like it's a state machine basically, and you can create different states for your game, and then when you hit play or whatever, it highlights this green box around the current state, and then you can kind of visually see what state your game is in at all times. So it makes it super handy to debug what's going on. You can hook it to pretty much every scripting thing that's available in Unity. There's a way to do it in Playmaker with some sort of visual box thing in the action editor. So it's definitely one of the cooler things. All right, so if I actually go into it, I'll link this in the show notes, but I created an example where you download the example, and then you're going to import the Playmaker project into your thing. And Playmaker itself, so it's $65. It goes on regular price. So you open up the example, and then you import that package into it, and then all this stuff will be set up. So within scenes, I have an example GUI, and I set up a basic state machine so that I have a few different states. When you push buttons on the controller, it'll change a plane. It'll change the color on the plane depending on what buttons I hit on the controller. So if I actually run this, I can show what I'm talking about. Here we go. So I set up a plane, put a material on the plane, and then I've got actions set up where if a button's detected, it uses a Playmaker set material thing, which sets the color on the button. So it's waiting for the O button. When I hit the O button, it changes to red, and then it's in the wait for button U state. And then when I push the U button, it changes to green, and then it's waiting for the Y button, and when I hit the Y button, it goes back to blue. So it's a basic example. I didn't have to write any code for this. I just had to set up the state machine. And here's my state machine. So in the scene, there's the FSM, which is short for, finite state machine, the Playmaker finite state machine. And to get this Playmaker panel to come up, you just go to the Playmaker tab, you say Playmaker Editor, and then it just pops up. And then you get do you want to look at the sample scenes, watch any video tutorials, look at the docs, talk on the forums, or look at any add-ons, and show on startup. I just close that. And then I click on my finite state machine, and it shows the states that I've set up. So here, by default, you get an empty start state, and I went and I added some different states for waiting for the O button, waiting for the U button, waiting for the Y button, and then it has these transitions between states. So basically this says, like, when you're done waiting for the O button, when you finish, go on to waiting for the U button. And when you're done waiting for the U button, go on to waiting for the Y button. When you're done with that, go back to the O button. So it's a pretty simple setup here. Now if I click on any of my states here, you can see I've added a couple different actions. So one of the actions, when it's in the state, it sets the material color to blue. And then I have a get button down thing. That's the part that I've added. So I added a custom OUYA specific action. and that creates this OUYA controller get button down. So once this get button down is detected for, and then I added some drop downs for OUYA controllers 0 through 3. So you can specify, hey, when controller 0 presses the O button, so here's all the buttons you can do, then it will go to its finished state. When it's in the finished state, it just goes on to the next state. And I set the same kind of thing up for each button. So when you're in the U button state, it sets the color to red.
Did you have to set up OUYA specific buttons?
That was that's part of the code that I added. So I added this thing called the OUYA controller something. Controller. Nope. Here we go. OUYA controller get button down. So I added this custom playmaker action, which kind of prepares what things show up in the UI here. So I just set up a couple different enums for these are the available things you can select. So you can select controller 0 through 3. And then I set up a enum for all the buttons that you could select. And then it has this little thing where if you reset it, it just sets it to the defaults. And then it has this little update check where it's, hey, if get button down is detected, finish the state and go on to the next thing. And of course, we can tweak or add as many actions as necessary. Just if you use Playmaker and use this all the time, you'll know what kind of actions you might want to set up. Like I could have made a third parameter be, maybe you don't want it to go to the finish state, maybe you want to keep it in the update loop or something. So that could be another parameter, and you can tweak it on these action scripts. And once I made the script, it made it accessible in the action browser. So if you right-click on this kind of, it's like the stage or something. It's similar to Mechanim too, and you can just add a state to it. And when I add a state, I can give it a name. So it could be the wait button, so I did OUYA. So I could add checking for the A button. And by itself, it's just a state. So if I right-click the state, I can add a transition. And I'm just going to pick finished. So that basically says when this state is finished, I can hook it to, let's see. Okay, so I click on, when it's on the finished state, I can tell it which state it goes to next. So maybe when they hit the A button, it could go over to the O button. And then I need something to go into this state. So when they hit the Y button, I can say instead of going up to the O, just connect to the Y. And then I'll have all the controller buttons set up. So O, then U, then Y, then A. Okay. So now I have to add some actions. So in our wait for the button A state, I had added a set material color action. So to do that, there's this thing down here. When you click on the state, it's the action browser. Okay. And under controller, I added this OUYA controller get button down state. That's the thing I added. Before I add that though, I want to go to material. Now, when you're in the A button state, I want to set some color so you know you're in that state. And I used something like, what did I use? I used set material color because I want it to change the color of the material. So I went into material and I say, hey, the set material color action, and I can double click it or add action to state and click this. And that adds it here. And then you can say, hey, when this action happens, what game object do you want it to affect? Now, by default, it says use owner, and that probably means the owner of this finite state machine up here, which doesn't make sense in this case. I want to link it to the plane here. Let's see. I have a plane in my scene. Here it is. So we want this color to change on the plane. Okay, so if I click back on my FSM, here we go, and we look at one of the other things. I have it affecting the plain game object, which was that guy. So over here in the wait button A, I can say, hey, I want to specify the game object that we're going to set the material color on. And then I can just drag this plane over here. And now we're affecting that plane. And then we want to say which material we want it to affect. And in that case, that was the material on our plane. There we go. So I drag that plane material over here. And now we know we're going to set that plane material color. And then by default, color is just the default color for that color parameter. And then I just click and pick a color I want to set. So if I look at the OUYA controller, the A button is actually red. So maybe I'll sync these up. Okay, so red for A, Y would be the yellow, U would be the blue, and then the O button could be the green one. Cool. Okay, so now when we enter this wait button state, it's going to set the color of the plane to red. And now we want to do one more action so that we can get out of the state. We want to detect if the A button is pressed. So I just bring up the action browser again, which is over here. And I go to controller and add this OUYA controller get button down, add that. And now we can say if controller 0, the first controller, if that happens and if the A button is pressed, then the state will finish and it'll go off to the next thing. And then I just go and I save my scene. And then I build and run this guy. And we'll build and compile. And then I'm going to see it on my OUYA. Now, a nice thing by default is it shows the names of the current state that it's in while it's running on the OUYA. So that gives you a way to debug it. And that helpful text is toggleable, or you can toggle it. Okay, so now if I look over at my OUYA, okay, so it's waiting for the O button. It's in the wait button O state. I can hit O. My controller's not, there we go. Grab the right controller. Okay, so I hit the O button, and then it goes on to the waiting for the U button. Goes to waiting for the Y button after I hit the U. And there's our new state, the waiting for the A button. When I press the A button, it goes on to the O state. And like it's waiting for the specific, if I hit other buttons, it's ignoring them because it's doing exactly what I showed in the state machine. And yeah, so it's working. I didn't have to write any code. I just used the UI editor here, and I can make a game that checks for controller buttons. So that should help anybody that uses Playmaker. And like I said, ask me if you need an action to do like getting the accesses or getting the username or whatever. I can add those in just using the example action that I added before, and we can tweak it for anything that you need.
Awesome.
No coding required.
That's way cool, man. So in this example, you have these like color change state shifts, right?
Yeah.
How do you take that to the next level, and how soon until that means we're shooting aliens, Tim?
Well, that depends on like how complex of a state machine you set up. And there's lots of video tutorials. It just depends on what you're doing. I mean, there's a visual action for pretty much everything you would write script for. So it just depends on what you want to do. So like if you wanted to move the position of the plane when you hit the buttons, there's things like, if I look in the object browser, when we enter the state, I could say, hey, I want that to affect the game object, and maybe I want it to like set the position or something. There's probably There could be a thing for transform. Vector. Sometimes there's like, oh, and it's searchable here. So I just want to look for something that has like, go, set position. So when we're in the O button state, I can add that action to the state, and basically we can tell it, hey, when we're in this state, we specify what game object we want to affect. I'll just affect that plane we have. And then it has a whole variable system where you can define variables and set those inside the visual script, or you can just plug in the values you want it to use. Here we go. I guess I hit this little caret button or whatever it's called, and then you can specify when you're in the state, you can be at like some kind of coordinate, and it can be either in world space or local. It says self, but I think that means local. And it can apply this action every frame or just the one time when you enter the state. And late update doesn't really matter. And then now it'll move to that spot. Some other cool things here is I could like copy this action and I could paste it in this other guy. Paste it after. Okay, so we can say, okay, when you're in the O state, you're at this spot, and let's look at where he is now. Just make sure we get some good values in here. Okay, so you can say, hey, go over here, so I guess -2. And then we can move him over here. Okay. So if I go back to my state machine. Okay, so I can say when you're in the O state, go to like -2, 2, 0. And then when you hit this other state, go to like 2, 2, 0. Okay. And then you could have like a monster you're trying to avoid or something. And save the scene. Build and run, and we should see it move around a little bit. And again, when you first bring up the Playmaker editor, it has a link to a lot of video tutorials, and you could just follow those, and I'm sure there's probably like a video on how to make Flappy Birds with just Playmaker.
Tozalil is asking what Unity version you're running.
The latest, I think.
And maybe, I don't know if they were here for you to say that this was a plugin or whatever.
Yeah, it's a plugin. Playmaker's available like all the way back to like the 3.x version, I think.
And for those who don't know, is Playmaker a free plugin, or how much does it cost?
It's so it's $65 full price or regular price. It's totally worth it. If you don't like to write script or you don't know how to script and you want to make games, you could just do it in Playmaker.
That's me.
And you can see here, when I hit the O state, it moves it over to that coordinate that I specified, and then as soon as I push the button, the O button, it goes on in the next state, and it moved that plane over to.
Is this available for like the 2D version of Unity or just the 3D version?
Yeah, it's not specific, so it'll work in the 2D and 3D versions. It's a whole state machine editor. It can edit, move things around, interact with all your game objects. It can interact with your materials, your prefabs. It can even play sound. We can just look at the action browser. There's like, can I do sound? Yep, I can play sound. Can I
Dance.
dance? We can't dance.
Oh.
But I don't know. Maybe there's anim or animation. So you can play animation clips. You can blend animations. play animations, set their speed, stop them. So that's useful for animations can be used for both 2D and 3D.
Questions coming in, Tim. This one I think is before you introduced this, but Josh is asking, or he said he tried downloading the key for Ouya SDK.fetchGamerInfo.
Okay, so what he's talking about is before you call in-app purchase methods, you want to download your signing key from the developer portal. And he's saying for whatever reason he's trying to get the gamer info, and it's not working for him. That could be some setup stuff, like maybe he's missing the Ouya game object in his initial scene. But I do have examples. There's a show products example inside of the Ouya Everywhere plugin that has that built in, and that would be like an example. Here, I'll pull it up too. So I definitely know it works. It's just I've got to maybe talk to him and fix an issue in his code. There we go. So Ouya SDK. Aha, here we go. Okay, so I've got a lot of examples in the Ouya SDK examples, and there's this one called Show Products. And in here, we've got a fetch gamer info listener on the script, and that helps us get the events that we need. And then in the awake method, you register the fetch gamer info listener. So that could be another reason you want to register a listener to get the gamer info, so that when you go to fetch it, you can get that information. And then when your game object is destroyed, you want to make sure you unregister the listener.
And we can link to this.
Yeah, I'll link to this in the show notes. Cool. Okay, and there's basically a success callback that happens when you're fetching the gamer info, and that will, when it succeeds, you'll get the gamer UID, which is just like an ID, unique identifier for the person running the game, and then you'll get their username. So the username is useful for like showing their name in a scoreboard or something, or like, hey Bob. And then there's callbacks for like if it failed, like maybe you had a network outage or something, or maybe the user canceled it for some reason. And then there's actually invoking to get that information. So I have a button up here that's if they push the button get gamer info, it makes a call to the Ouya SDK. Sorry, the Ouya SDK fetch gamer info, and that makes the call, and then you get that callback with their username. So you just have to call this. You want to make IAP calls after the in-app purchase system is initialized. So always check if is in-app purchase initialization complete, and then you can make all your IAP calls. And then just make sure you do them one at a time. Like you make a call to the in-app purchase system, wait for the callback, whether it succeeds or fails, before you issue another call. And you can just copy and paste right out of the show products example.
Cool. Benjamin is shouting out to openmw.org. Sounds like they make an engine that they just got working on Android.
Cool.
So we can check that out sometime.
Yeah, gotta try that on Ouya.
I'll
go there too.
I'm currently, here's Ben asking a different question too. I'm currently using Unreal Engine to develop a 2D isometric game for the Ouya. I'm having a hard time getting it to run at a decent frame rate. Any advice?
All right, so
Unreal Engine.
I think Matt used Unreal a little bit. So I mean, it's gonna depend on which shaders you're selecting, like how much is going on, how much geometry is in the scene.
Yeah, Matt.
Yeah. That's like way too. I don't.
That's an open question.
It's a very open question.
Should they not be using Unreal to do a 2D game?
So first of all, which version of Unreal are we talking about?
I don't know. They didn't specify.
So
I would assume it's the most recent one, which is the $29 a month. Or is it 29? I think.
Yeah. You're talking about UE4, Tim, right? Is what you think it is?
Yeah, whatever the latest thing. And we have games published that are on Unreal, like Wraithborn. And if
Yeah,
you
but
just-
those are UE3, so that's different, right? That's a different engine. So there's a million different variables, and then there's just all the typical.
If you're just starting out, should you use Unreal for a 2D game?
So
That example was a Flappy Bird example.
Yeah, I would say probably not to begin with if OUYA is something that you're targeting, just because we don't have a whole lot of easy support to get an Unreal game running on OUYA yet.
Maybe.
Hint, hint, nudge, nudge.
Maybe Game Maker instead, or Unity.
Unity or something like that, yeah. I mean, yeah. Unless there's something very specifically that you want to use Unreal for, it's going to be a little bit difficult at this point in time to get it working well on an OUYA. I'm not saying that it's impossible, I'm just saying that we don't have nearly as much Groutman magic for that as we do for all the other engines.
That's true. I haven't had a chance to play with Unreal yet.
I have a question about porting an app from Google TV. I want to port the Twitter app from Google TV. Can I send the APK to OUYA dev page without any problems with copyright? Probably not.
You could try it and sideload it.
Yeah, that might be a better route.
Yeah, I don't think that would get through by submitting it.
Unless you work for Twitter.
Yeah.
In which case, it's a serious deal.
But, I mean, Twitter has a whole set of APIs and stuff, so that's not going to stop you from making your own Twitter app. And you could totally publish that.
Good point, Tim. You guys, we're almost out of time. Like, it flew by.
Load it, Bob,
That's true.
or something.
Okay, well then, really quickly, let's go through the food game. I had chili, and it was vegetarian chili. It was so
What's
good.
the point of
I don't know.
vegetarian chili?
I didn't think it would be good. It was amazing.
Did you stick your fork in it and it stood up? Doesn't count.
I didn't
Obviously,
test
you
it.
didn't even
I
think,
didn't even know that
because
was
you don't
the
even
test.
care about chili.
I didn't know that was the chili
You
test,
are
man.
so full of it.
Are you one of those people that needs
vegetarian chili essentially just minestrone?
Pretty much.
It kind of was.
It doesn't even count.
There's nothing wrong with that.
It was spicy minestrone.
There's no noodles in it. There's noodles in minestrone, right? Like
I don't know. I don't even bother. If there's not beef in it, what's the point? I'm just kidding.
I love being vegetarian chili.
No,
Thanks, Kelly.
it can be okay. I'm just giving you a hard time.
Are you one of those people that thinks it's not chili unless it's completely blended into one consistency?
That's
Like
gross.
Southern American?
There has to be chunks in it, so you
Southern
can tell what it
United
is.
States.
You're like, oh, there's onions and beans and meat and carrots.
I like chili cook-offs in the
Ugh.
Southern United States. Like real chili
It's
is
like-
all one
I don't like that.
blended
I don't care.
consistency.
It's
You
not
might as well be-
food in my mouth.
Then it's just like meat sauce.
Yeah, basically. Those are the ones that win.
Really?
What did you eat?
I went all Saturday without eating anything. I don't know how. It was just an
You
accident.
didn't eat any food?
I didn't eat any food on Saturday.
I bet you were fun to be around.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It actually wasn't that bad. I just felt horrible the next day, which was yesterday. I couldn't even move. I was like, oh, what's wrong? And I was like, oh, I should eat food probably.
Yeah, fuel.
But yesterday on my way home, it was super hot, and I had been moving furniture all day, and I had a Dairy Queen Blizzard chocolate with a Heath bar in it.
Today,
I feel like
I
we've
was
had this
brought to you by
conversation
Dairy
before.
Queen.
I feel like this is a deja vu situation.
No, it hasn't happened.
It hasn't happened ever before.
No. Matt, can you beat a chili or a DQ Blizzard?
Yeah, I had
Yeah.
shrimp and
Jerk.
gnocchi with a cream butter sauce.
Gnocchi.
Something.
Did you make the gnocchi yourself?
I didn't, but my girlfriend.
She
Whoa.
made it?
And-
Oh, no,
Hey.
she didn't make the gnocchi.
Yeah,
She
that-
made-
'cause that's-
she made
She made
the
a
sauce.
sauce,
She made
okay.
the sauce.
Because that stuff takes forever if you're making it legit. Unless you're Jared Yeager.
Ha! Was this your way of handing off to me?
Yeah.
All right. A couple good things. I'm torn. But I will say earlier this week, my wife put together this amazing salad that was essentially just super fresh burrata cheese that was laid over organic heirloom cherry tomatoes and peaches, kind of diced up together.
Dude, that's what I had last week, and Bob didn't give me the win for that. If you win for this time,
Careful.
like,
Hold on.
I'm done with this game.
I wasn't here last week. I would have voted for you. That was super delicious. Although yesterday at breakfast, I mean the eggs Florentine I had at brunch was really good with tomato and béarnaise sauce and everything.
You're not allowed to have two things.
No, I'm torn because the thing that I had there was they had this ricotta cheese pancake with blueberries,
Stuff in the ballot
and that
box.
was really good. That was really good. I'm really torn. But you know what? I'm going to stand in allegiance with Matt. I'm going to stick by the burrata and the tomatoes and peaches.
Okay.
Okay.
Stand
Well,
by
if you
that.
pick the other one,
It's
you vote
homemade.
for it.
Yeah, so yeah, eggs Florentine was a surefire win because I don't even know what it is.
It's like
Sounds like it's.
eggs Benedict with spinach
Oh.
instead of other stuff.
I wouldn't have voted for that.
Right?
Kelly, do you want to play the food game this week?
Who? Oh, Kelly.
Kelly.
Kelly Jim. Oh, okay. Man, I've been, it's so hot these days. I've been keeping it really simple, just like grilled vegetables and sausage eating outdoors on the back deck.
Was it all blended together in like a chopped up? Why is that funny?
Only for Calvin.
Oh, because of the chili thing.
Yeah.
No, I meant like you cut the sausages up and cook them, so it's all crispy on all the sides.
So
of the sausage.
all the pieces of the vegetables and sausage are the same size.
Yeah, it's like a stir fried.
I should do that next time because we have one of those like bowls you can put on the grill to like make it easier to do vegetables and stuff. Because otherwise, I like getting them nice.
Don't do that again.
Grill.
And Mr. Tim Graubman.
All right. So this will take a little bit of visualization. So I got this, like a cup of home-style potato salad, and then I brought that outside after going to the store, and I forgot to get a spoon, so you can visualize like how that worked.
Oh, so you like ate it with?
You're just drinking potato
Did you
salad.
have a 3-finger scoop?
Pretty much.
What
Yeah.
did you like pour it
Oh,
in
you should have
your
used
face?
you should have used the lid as a scoop.
I really
Yeah,
thought this was going that you forgot the spoon and you left the potato salad outside for like an hour. It fermented.
That's what I thought he was gonna say too. Like the potato salad melted into a liquid.
Yeah, this is gonna be like your ice cream cake part 2.
No, I ate it right away. Didn't let it melt.
Matt's
Good.
not gonna be ready for this, but I'm giving the win to Kelly for the sausage and vegetables because that made me the most hungry.
Woo!
Matt, we are going to be submitting burrata salads from now on every week until Bob gives you something.
I think if Matt's desk weren't attached to the wall, he would have flipped it over.
Second place is Matt though, because I love a good gnocchi. Gnocchi. Never been able to say it.
I don't think second place made him any happier.
Yeah, no, it doesn't. No. Tozalil is asking about tutorials. Alex, do we have anything to say about that?
They're coming soon. If we weren't going to be gone for over a week to PAX, they would be coming sooner.
Do you know which one's next? Can we tease something?
Pretty much the next ones that we have are going to be potentially explaining things that might not be as clear as they could be.
Or like Ouya keywords.
Yeah, like what does a promoted product actually mean, and how does it relate to your game?
That's fun.
And why is it good to have? And just kind of go through a glossary of sorts, because it's just platform-specific terminology.
If there's things you'd like us to cover,
Yes.
Leo, let us know in the Google Plus page that this particular video is hosted on, or in the YouTube comments, and then we can look at them, and maybe they'll sync up with an upcoming one, or maybe we'll rearrange, or whatever.
Yeah. We're flexible.
Mm-hmm. Ben is asking, would you recommend to build an engine or build a game? Depends on your skill level, right?
No. That's an interesting question. It depends on, do you want to actually ship a game? Because a lot of people, like, you want to focus on one or the other so you can actually deliver and get some sales. If it's a little too ambitious to try to do both. You could use somebody else's engine and make a game if you want to make a game.
That's good. So timing is a factor.
Right. Or you can look at the market and think, oh, the game's market is saturated and focus on making an engine so that you can make big bucks. So it's up to you.
Okay, and then Ben's got a shout out to the Elysian Shadows Kickstarter. Jared also shouted out earlier. Rosalia says sooner than you think, ? I think he's talking about the next video.
Oh.
Like, we don't have
Did
an
we
official date.
say quote sooner than you think?
I don't think so. Maybe he's asking, like, oh, sooner than I think?
Oh,
Maybe. Unless you think it's really soon.
Well, sometime in September.
Oh, man.
What?
Did you just lock in a delivery date?
Well, yeah, sometime. That gives us.
Could be next
That
year,
gives us like
September.
4.5 weeks.
Could be September
Wait.
2016.
Because you're not like super busy. In
Oh, I'm
September.
super busy, but I'm gonna make it happen.
Oh,
It doesn't give you
gosh.
4.5 weeks.
That's true.
Gives you like a week.
Dang it. You're right. No, but it
There's a
will be.
lot going on.
Yeah. It's in the
Alex
the planning books.
Alex has a lot of life events happening.
I know. What's up with that?
He's getting married to Zalil.
It's true.
So just let him go.
Yeah.
Well, how many life events? Like getting
I
married,
think just the one.
Getting married is like 4 life events at once.
That's true.
or
He's getting-
you get married and then you're getting married again and again and again. Nobody will catch on.
He's getting married. He's doing like a European walkabout. There's like all
Yeah.
sorts of cool things on.
Yeah.
That's true.
He's doing.
But the videos will be ready before I actually leave and disappear.
Are you still doing a
Which
persistence
gives you
hunt
like a week.
Persistence hunt.
where you just run after a deer at a low pace?
Oh,
Until it falls.
I didn't know that was a plan, but it sounds good.
Yeah.
I would just probably
You just jog like
shoot
a
it
swim
with a
jog.
camera. I'd shoot it with a camera though,
If
not
he-
like a gun.
Kills his own deer and cooks it and eats it, he wins the food challenge.
Oh yeah,
Sweet,
for sure.
yeah.
I'll give him that.
Okay. I'm gonna be going.
If it's a persistence hunt.
I don't
Okay.
care.
I'm not
Do I
impressed
need
by
to be
regular
using?
hunting.
Do I need to
Are you
use a
kidding
bow
me?
and arrow?
You can use whatever you want. as
No,
long as
persistence
it's
hunt. It has to
Oh,
die
it
of
just
exhaustion.
it just collapses.
Yeah.
Okay.
The pacifist award is don't kill anything and eat vegetarian chili at the end.
Yeah.
Oh, then I also get something.
Yeah.
Okay.
He said the only thing
So-
he's shooting is his camera,
Yeah.
so that's pretty cool.
You're a winner.
So I could attempt to chase the deer and collapse myself, and then eat some leaves on the bush next to me, and then I like get 2 awards. No, just one.
I don't get awards for that one. Personally.
If the deer leads you to like a glen full of berries and you pick them together, then you win.
And then I have to fight a bear for the berries because bears like berries.
That's true.
That's where they get the name.
Don't worry. Bear, just take a really sharp corner because
Bears can't drift.
Oh,
I gotta eat. I'm dizzy.
Yeah.
well done, everyone.
Hilarious.
I'm getting angry. I'm gonna snap at Jared at any second.
Ah!
All right. Cool. Thanks for hanging out with us, everybody that's watching. And Tozalil is cool. And everyone who asked questions, Benjamin and Josh and Phil and everyone else I don't remember. One day, Tozalil will make a video of how to pronounce his name.
Just keep saying it. Obviously, it's right.
Tozalil. Clearly, I'm saying it correctly. Until next time, Internet. For
Adios.
Goodbye.
Jared,
Yo.
Kelly,
Hey. Bye.
Kelly's fractal pattern. Tim Groutman just
Tim
left.
bailed.
Crazy.
He's like, I'm done.
Tim's gone. All right, bye, everybody.